Hey everybody, it's Michelle Metzner and welcome to this tutorial on how to change gradebook settings and create electronic gradebook categories and items for assignments and quizzes in the Canvas Learning Management System. So let's get started. Now when you first log into Canvas, you're going to be placed on the dashboard, and this shows your published courses and your unpublished courses. You can see that I've got 2 unpublished courses right now. So let's go ahead and pop into that left one, the blue one, and we're just going to click on it. And once we click on it, we are placed on our home page. Okay. Now, when we're talking about the gradebook in Canvas, the gradebook could not possibly be easier to set up, I don't think. A lot of the gradebook is actually set up when you set up your assignments. So that means that there is no need to have to do additional linking. It's just when you create an assignment, a gradebook item is automatically created for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this and see what we've got going on in our course already. I want to go ahead and start by clicking on assignments. And when I see the assignments, you'll see I've got 3 different groups. I have discussions, exercises, and research reports. And each of those groups has an assignment in it already. Okay. Think of the groups like a folder and think of the assignments as papers inside that folder. Okay. So the one group that is missing right now is the quiz group. So I'm going to go ahead and click on group up here in the upper right hand corner. This is the plus group. And when I do that, I'm going to call this quizzes. And then I'm going to click save. And when I do that, you'll see that I have an extra group here. I have discussions, exercises, research reports, and quizzes rather. So now I want to make a quiz to go into our quizzes group. So I'm going to come right over here in the course navigation menu and click on quizzes. And when I do that, you'll see, I have no quizzes available yet. So I want to create a quiz, and I do that in the upper right hand corner, clicking on this blue box that says plus quiz. And when I click on this, it brings up the quiz creation area. Okay. And so right now it's called unnamed quiz. I want to change that to chapter 2 quiz. And then I can do in this large box, I can do the quiz instructions. That'll go right there. And as we scroll down, this is where we do the settings for the quiz. So quiz type is going to be graded quiz, but you do have the option to create a practice quiz, a graded survey, or an ungraded survey. I'm going to leave it as graded quiz. And then we have the assignment group. And remember, we have those 4 groups on our assignments area. And so I'm going to make this quizzes down at the bottom. And then we have other options here. So we can shuffle answers. We can impose a time limit of so many minutes. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the answers, but I'm going to leave it unlimited in time. Okay. I'm not going to allow multiple attempts, but you can if you want to. It really depends on your own course. And then as we scroll, we can let students see their quiz responses, and the incorrect questions will be marked in the student feedback. You can do that only once after each attempt. You can also let the students see the correct answers. So I'm going to go ahead and leave these settings the way that they are, but of course you can customize them however you want. You can also set it to show just one question at a time if you're worried about overwhelming your students with a large number of questions on the screen. So that's entirely up to you. Then you can impose an access code, or you can filter IP addresses if you want to. I tend not to do that. My quizzes are fairly low stakes, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And then in the assign to, you can assign it to specific people, The default is everyone. I'm going to leave that. And then you can assign due dates. So I will go ahead and give a due date of this Friday the 24th. The other thing you need to pay attention to is when you assign that due date, the time it's due defaults to 11:59 p.m. You can change that down here at the bottom of the calendar if you want to. Just make sure you're typing in your hours and your minutes, and you choose AM or PM. Okay. And then since I'm good with March 24th at 11:59 p.m., I'm going to go ahead and click done, and that'll set my time and date. And then in terms of availability, I'm going to go ahead and make that available right now. And then I'm going to leave this available until April 1st. So I've got the time set for April 1st at 12:01 is when this quiz will close. And then we're going to come up to the top here and click on the questions tab, because you'll notice we don't have any questions in here yet. That's a bit problematic. So let's click on the questions tab. And this is where we can add a question. Okay. So you can add a new question one at a time. You can add a new question group. You can find questions if you've got a pool going. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and just add a new question. Okay, so this is the area in which we can add our questions. The first thing we need to do is we need to choose the type of question this is, and we do that up here. In the drop-down menu, you have all of these choices. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and make this a true-false quiz. So this question is going to be true-false, so that's the one I'm going to select. And then in this box, this is where the question goes. So I'm just going to put my question right there. So now I have to come down and give the answer. So it's going to be either true or it's going to be false. All right. So this question in particular is true. So I want to make sure that that green arrow is next to true. And then I'm going to go ahead and update the question. And then I'm going to go ahead and save and publish this. If I wanted to add more questions, I would just go ahead and hit save. But in the interest of time, I'll just click save and publish. And so I now have one quiz question. We're going to go ahead and preview this just to see what it looks like. Okay, so question 1, by profiling your audience and shaping a message to respond to that profile, you are more likely to achieve your communication goals. I'm going to click true, and then I'm going to submit the quiz. So once you hit submit in the preview, it just takes you back to this chapter 2 quiz page, and it tells you, everything that you just did, basically. Okay. So, and you'll also notice that it's published, so it's ready to go. Students can access it if they want to. So now let's take a look at what the gradebook looks like now. Over in the course navigation menu, we're going to click on grades, and this is going to take us to our gradebook. And you will see that we have the 3 exercises, or the 3 grade items that we had before from the assignment area. So there's an exercise, a discussion exercise, exercise 2.1, and research report 1. And then you'll see the chapter 2 quiz. Next to the chapter 2 quiz, you will see that we have our group names, or our category names, right? So we have discussions, exercises, research reports, and quizzes down here. And if we go over just a little bit more, you'll see the total that we have for the grades. Okay. All right. So that is how you create the grade category, the grade items. Now we need to kind of mess with our gradebook settings. Okay. We can do that in the grade area by clicking on this little gear icon, and this opens up the gradebook settings. Okay. So in this area, you've got 3 tabs. You have late policies, grade posting policy, and advanced. Okay. In the late policies, you can automatically apply a grade for a missing submission. You can also automatically apply a deduction for late submissions if you want, and you can choose the percentage on all of these. Okay, so you have a late submission deduction, you have a deduction for interval, so if it's so many days late, and you have the lowest possible grade that they can earn when they turn something in late. Okay, in the grade posting policy tab, you have two options here. So you can automatically have your grades posted, which is what I tend to do, or you can manually post grades. Okay. And then in the advanced tab, you just have one thing that you can do, and that's allow a final grade override, right? So make your choices, and then if you make choices, you can apply the settings down here. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and close this. The only other thing I want to show you in the gradebook is that you can change the way that things appear a little bit in the gradebook by clicking this View tab up here in the upper left-hand corner. So when we click that, we get a drop-down menu. The first thing is you can change the arrangements, okay, of the way, let me undo that. You can change the order in which these appear. Okay, just the grade items. You cannot change the order in which the groups appear. So whatever view you apply to the exercises, it will not affect the groups. Okay, so for example, if we click on View and Arrange by, and we say assignment Z to A, you'll see these changed. Okay, so now they're in reverse alphabetical order from research report to exercise 3.1 discussion to exercise 2.1 to chapter 2 quiz. Okay, you can also apply filters. So you can filter by assignment groups, modules, or student groups. You can look at statuses. You can view ungraded as zeros. You can change the columns and all that. Okay. You also have some actions you can look at in this little area right here. If you click on that, this is where you can import grades. You can export the current gradebook view, or you can export the entire gradebook. Okay. All right. So that was just a real quick and dirty on how to set up the electronic gradebook categories and items for assignments and quizzes, and also how to change your gradebook settings in the Canvas Learning Management System. As always, if you have any questions, please email me at michelle.metzner@wright.edu, and I'll be happy to answer them. Until next time.